Welcome to Head Honcho. I'm Anish Trivedi. My guest on today's show has everything under one roof to make your house a home. Her chain of stores sells you everything from bedroom furniture to bath towels. Simran Lal of Good Earth is my guest today. Come join us. Simran, thank you for joining me on Head Honcho. First question, we're sitting at Good Earth. It's been 10 years of the store. I look at the transition between the first Good Earth that I walked into down at Kemp's Corner in Bombay, small store, and I look at this, and it is really a huge transition. What's the change between a shop that sold glasses and candles to what we're looking at now?
Well, as you can see, it's a huge change. Although our core philosophy hasn't changed at all, which when we started Good Earth, as I said, we had, our goal has been to provide great quality design, original design to people in India, so also with a lot of emphasis on crafts, natural fibers, that kind of thing. We started with that at Kemp's Corner. And we don't want to compromise. We've always felt that the most important thing is to give that joy to our customer. So that hasn't changed because our customers feel the same way, which is great. We get that feedback. But yes, we have grown. We've really grown. We took our time. It took us 8 years of setting our systems in order and, in a way, building a brand, which was built more in a way, I would say, it morphed into whatever happened. It was not a very conscious decision, but it ended up being a great brand. And now we thought we want to get into something which is not only just candles and thing, it was a full solution, lifestyle concept kind of store. And so we opened this one at Raghuvanshi Mills. And as you can see, with a lot of furniture from around the world. And so that's what we're doing.
Let me ask you this. When you think about designer in India, whether it's clothes, whether it's homes, or whether it's furniture, there's automatically a price tag that you see in front of your eyes.
Right.
Is that true when you walk into Good Earth as well? Are you confronted with the whole designer thing, or are we looking at things that real people can really buy?
Anish, I have to say, one of the things that we actually pride ourselves, and truly we say this because we feel it very strongly, is that I feel very happy that the real people that you're talking about, of course we are catering to a certain market. I mean, obviously not to all of India and all of that.
Can I afford it?
You could totally afford it.
Okay, all right.
You can totally afford it. And actually a lot of the professionals, as I said, are the ones who really appreciate and enjoy Good Earth because of the price points. They know they're getting something good, they're willing to spend. It's not that it's cheap, but they're willing to spend its value in a way for money. That's something which has always been, that's why we have a lot of repeat customers. I mean, huge number of loyal repeat customers. So that says something.
Now explain that to me. I understand clothes. I understand designer fashion. I understand you go out and you buy an outfit and a week later you want to buy another one.
Right.
You buy a bed, how many times are you going to change that? Where's the repeat customer?
Okay, I have to clarify that it's not for furniture so much. Naturally you cannot have, how many beds, as you said, can you have and all of that, unless they're setting up another home, and then yes, you can have. And of course we get, we do, by the way, get offers like, can you take back the old bed and we want a new one now, and that kind of thing.
I don't even want to ask questions on that one.
But for Good Earth downstairs, which is all our accessories, I myself am amazed at how many people keep buying. I mean, I have an apartment in Bombay and I'm like, I'm full. I don't know how there is any space, but I see the same customers come again and again and keep buying, which is wonderful. Actually.
Explain this to me now. Now, I've got a wife who does this. She comes into Good Earth and she buys soap.
So you can obviously afford it, yeah.
No, that's the problem. I can't. But we'll talk about that later. But men don't do this. Let's face it. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything over here. Men want soap. They go to the corner shop and they buy soap.
Right.
Whatever the heck happens to be over there.
Right.
People actually drive across Bombay to pick up the soap that you have here.
They do. And that's quite something. And by the way, a lot of men do. Shockingly, you would assume that there aren't, but it's wonderful. I see a lot of men coming into the store and going, in fact, into the spa section, because I think men are just understanding that they also enjoy beautiful things in life, and why not? And they don't feel intimidated coming into Good Earth and picking things up. So people do drive across the city to pick up our stuff.
So what's the market for a store like Good Earth? Are we looking at large cities? Are we looking at smaller towns where they don't have access to this? Because let's face it, if you're in Bombay or if you're in Delhi, which are the two cities where Good Earth is,
Right.
you have competition, you have other options that
Right.
people can walk into. Is there actually a larger market for you in smaller towns?
Yes, of course, because as you said, these things are not easily available in smaller towns. We in Bombay and Delhi are relatively spoiled with choice. But we find that the smaller towns, for a format like ours right now, which is what we're looking at, a very large format, the smaller towns may not yet be still ready for sustainable, for it to be sustained for over a long period of time.
Simran, darling, I don't know about you, but most people I know need to buy soap on a regular basis.
But it's not just soap we sell. What about all the furniture and everything else? Don't make it into like one little soap thing. Yeah, but we need to we have a lot of people coming from smaller cities, and it's not even small cities. I'm talking about like Bangalore, Baroda, all over, come to Good Earth in Bombay and they shop. So right now we are going to keep it to these two cities at the moment, but of course we have growth plans, and in the next few years I see ourselves in at least a couple more cities.
What goes into building a brand like Good Earth? It's not just about the natural fabric, it's not just about the natural materials that are used here, it's not just about the lifestyle of the concept. Good Earth really has become a brand in itself.
Right.
How do you expand that brand?
Like a lot of brands today are being built by advertising, a lot of marketing. We never did that. We've never advertised in our lives. We've really never really marketed ourselves so far, except with Raghuvanshi Mills in a very small way. I personally feel that our brand has been built on our customers' goodwill. Really, it's and they feel why we have their goodwill is because I think they trust the fact that we are doing our best and we are providing things which they can afford, they value, they appreciate, that will last, that they feel proud of. And that comes from our philosophy, which is a very sincere one of providing things, as I said, to people that give them joy and never make them feel that, a little cheated or anything. It's just never that. That's something that we are very, very particular about. So I think that builds a brand. There's a trust. Brand is what? It's a trust that that this is someone. And because of that, I think it's word of mouth, the most powerful way. And as a result, 10 years from now, it's a great feeling that people around the country know about Good Earth, and it's a well-known brand today. It's pioneer. It's seen as a pioneer. Actually, that's what, in setting certain standards, which is what gives me the maximum pride. Okay,
we're going to come back and talk about that pride right here on Head Honcho after this.
Our brand and USP is that it's very personalized. So we handpick. It's not like everything is dumped into something. Yeah, we handpick everything. It reflects a certain character, a certain kind of, and that shows in our product mix.
Welcome back to Head Honcho. I'm Anish Trivedi and I'm in conversation with Simran Lal. We're sitting at Good Earth. We were talking about what it took to build the brand right before the break, Simran. But how do you keep that going? You have competition coming up. There are more lifestyle stores. There are more concept stores. We're sitting in Raghuvanshi Mills. If I open the window, I'll see 20 of them right there. How do you continue to distinguish the brand in the face of competition like that?
Actually, to be honest with you, I think competition helps. It keeps you on your toes. I know people say that, but I really feel it. I mean, what it does, it keeps you on your toes. I am a lot more out there now, understanding what's going on. It helps you understand the market better. But to distinguish ourselves, I would say that, again, we're very true to our philosophy, and there are certain things we feel we don't veer from, and which is, as I said, provide the best value under the circumstances, which is, great design and quality to our customers. We also do a lot of original design at Good Earth, unlike maybe others. That's one of the big USPs of ours, which is we do our own textile designing, our crockery. We are well known for all of that.
Let me stop you there for a second. That's one of the problems that I have every time I walk into a store. Not Good Earth, of course, but stores like that. It seems as though everything has been thrown into a container in Bangkok or in Singapore or in Hong Kong, brought down here, put out for sale, and then when it's over, and you go out and buy another container. When do we reach a point where we say, look, we're an Indian store, we're in India, we understand what the Indian customer needs, and we're going to start providing it, whether it means designing here or whether it means acquiring overseas?
You're absolutely right. That's what the feedback we get also from a lot of Indians and also a lot of Europeans who come and say that we are the first store that is actually Indian. Of course, we are global, and I don't want to be only Indian, because that's not what we are. My market and my target market is not someone who just wants only Indian product. But we want to get the best of India, and I'm doing that slowly, But most importantly, I think our brand and USP is that it's very personalized. So we handpick. It's not like everything is dumped into something. Yeah, we handpick everything. It's a certain. It reflects a certain character, a certain kind of, and that shows in our product mix. How we put it together. We do a lot of developing, even with designers and people outside of India. A lot of our furniture is actually specially developed for Good Earth, or our products are specially developed for Good Earth. So that's a big distinction from the rest of them, slightly more generic.
How much of you is in here?
Too much, maybe. A lot. My mother is the one who started it, and she has a very strong stamp on it. And she's the creative head at Good Earth. I have been part of it unofficially or informally from the beginning for the last 10 years, but I actually formally joined Good Earth around 3.5 years ago when I came back from the US. And yeah, what's happening today has a lot to do with my vision, energy, excitement.
Now you talked about being out there.
Right.
Once competition came in, and you had to increase your offerings over here. Now I know this for a fact. One of the things that's meant is that you're never here, because you're always traveling, you're always on buying trips. What does that do to you personally?
It's a good question, Anish. Well, yeah, it's a little unsettling, to say the least. Traveling a lot, it's quite exciting at times, and at times it's very tiring, One of the things, part of my job thing is to source, and sourcing means traveling. And I have also recently moved to Bombay, so I'm very new to Bombay. I love it. I'm settling down. I've just got a new apartment, setting that up. That is what I kind of miss a little bit, of just having a few months of nothing but just being in Bombay and actually getting to know the city. Between Good Earth, which keeps me extremely busy through the week, and then the travel, I get less time. But having said that, I never have a dull moment in my life, and which is, I guess, a good thing. It gives me grey hair, but it's a good thing.
Tell me about the move from Delhi to Bombay.
I think everything worked so that it happened at the best time, according to me. I moved a year and a little bit ago to Bombay. That's when we were setting up this store. At that point, personally in my life, I had just separated from my husband from a long marriage. So it was nice to get away. It was nice for a change of scene and everything. And I feel no better city than Bombay. It's something that I'd always desired. Every time I came to Bombay from Delhi as just to visit, I always said I would love to live in the city. And here I am. So it was just one of those lucky things. We opened this big store. It needed somebody here to lead it. And at that point in my life, personally, I needed to get away. So it was just right.
Although in a year and a half, you haven't been doing much living in the city, have you?
Yeah, I know.
We're going to come back and talk a little more about that right here on Head Honcho after this.
One of the nicest things about Bombay is you have the opportunity to meet all sorts of people. So I tend to go out, I have a nice place, I call people in, and to be honest with you, that's about it. I'm working the rest of the time.
Welcome back to Head Honcho. If you've just joined us, I'm at Good Earth. I'm in conversation with Simran Lal. We've been talking about the store, we've been talking about her life, and that's exactly what we're going to come back to talking about, Simran. We talked about the fact that you moved to Bombay. We talked about the fact that you don't really have the time to enjoy Bombay yet. So what do? You can't be working 24 hours a day. You can't be on buying trips all the time. What else do you do?
Well, whenever I get a little bit of time, I mean, of course, I get some time off and I take some time off. I in fact having said all that, I took a couple of weeks off just now to set up my apartment and unpack
that was
all my
furniture
books.
again.
That is fun. Yeah, that's all that. But I go out, I have friends, I meet, I must say, very interesting people. That's one of the nicest things about Bombay is you have the opportunity to meet all sorts of people. So I tend to go out, I have a nice place, I call people in, and to be honest with you, that's about it. I'm working the rest of the time.
So let me understand this right. Hobbies, absolutely none.
No, don't
We're not. Are we talking tennis? Are we talking basketball? Are we talking scuba diving?
I am so looking forward to the next month of the World Cup, is what I can say to you.
All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking. World Cup kicked off this weekend. So what are we talking about? Which team are we backing here?
I'm looking at Argentina.
And why is that?
Well, because I think they're a great team. I don't want to sound really biased, but it's nice to have a non-European team winning in Europe. They've never done that before, so that would be great. And also, we're just very big football fans. So so my family and I are going off to our house in Manali and spending 15 days there watching football.
That's it.
The World Cup. Well, yeah, apart from hiking and eating, yes, that's what we're going to be doing.
And the entire family follows one team?
No, we will figure that out when I'm there. I'm sure we'll have different teams. Thank God, we'll have some nice
someone's
wars.
going to kill someone?
Yeah, they'll kill all of that.
That's going to happen. Yeah. Tell me about the family.
My parents, my parents, I'm the eldest, and then is my brother, who's married with a little baby, and my sister. So there's the 6 of us now, 7.
And you're all going to be under one roof.
We're all going to be under one roof for a substantial amount of time.
Now, within the lot of you, you're the one who decided to come and work at Good Earth with your mother.
Yeah, I did too.
Out of choice, was it something that, as you said, you moved back to India for want of anything to do? Was it something you wanted to do? Did your mother say, "Sweetie, I'm getting old, so come in and work with me"? What made you come here?
Well, a bit of everything actually. I did study when I was in New York. I did study merchandising and product development for home. So it was very specifically aimed at Good Earth actually in a way. So somewhere I knew I'd be here. I love it. So why would I not join it? It's just that I was not here. I was in the US, I was in all over when Good Earth started and onwards. So yeah, it was a pretty kind of conscious decision. I just didn't realize it would entail all the things that I do now. I thought it would be a lot more just creative, exciting. It's a very hardcore business understanding, which is great. That's creative in its own way, but it's a lot of strategy and business and stuff like that.
So tell me about the job itself. If it were as simple as coming into the store, picking up nice furniture, making sure you've got the right accessories, all that would be fine. How much of your time actually goes in the business side of things?
A lot, actually, most of it right now. We are also we are a growing business at the moment. As I said, we jumped from 1,200 square feet to 20,000 square feet, and that entails a lot of thought and planning into it. It's actually very complex, So we do also our own designing. We do some of our own manufacturing. We import. We product develop with craftsmen, with other designers. So it's many different things that we put together. Then in the retail front, it is proper replenishment. There's stocking. There's training people. There is marketing. There is getting people in. A lot of rather complex things, and then apart from that, there is the market, the strategy. Where are you heading? Your positioning.
Where are you heading?
In a good place, I think. Well, yeah. Professionally, we are now.
I didn't say we. I said you.
Professionally, well, to be honest with you, I am going to be. I can see myself heading Good Earth, and as I'm doing, and taking it to an international level. That's where, I feel we are there in a certain way, but I might even go outside of India. I don't know. We'll see what we do. There's a lot of possibility. There's so much out there. The most exciting thing is to be in India today. There's so much happening, and I love to be there. That's where I am professionally.
And personally?
Personally, similar, bizarrely. So much opportunity and excitement, and I'm actually having a really, really good time right now, so it's great.
Simran, hopefully it's just going to get better.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me here on Head On Show. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Anish.
Well, that's it for this week, but we'll be back next week with even more. Until then, I'm Anish Trivedi. Goodbye.